Where are there places in your life where you feel unworthy? Hello! Welcome to The Healing Artist. I'm your host, Frida. Friends, it is early in the morning. My voice will warm up together with you as we have our little morning chit chat. If you've got a warm beverage, let's get it and let's dive in. Friends, there has been so much going on in my world that I want to tell you about. And it really all revolves around a wonderful word that many of you, I'm sure, are aware of, and that is worthiness. So I'm going to start this roundabout story with my friend Cassidy. A few weeks ago, Cassidy took me to the play Paranormal Activity Live. Yes, it is a stage version, a whole new story, new chapter of the film Paranormal Activity, which is a franchise series. It's pretty good. I'm very familiar with it, and it's a good time. So I had wanted to see this show. He is an actor and gets these like free equity tickets like an hour before and stuff like that. And it happened that I was coming back from Sacramento on the same day that he was able to like go to a matinee. So he took me to see it and it was fun, fun, fun. While we were at the show Paranormal Activity, we're just hanging out, chatting before, and he was telling me about a coworker that he has that he's currently doing a show at Berkeley Rep. And the coworker has worked in all sorts of different aspects of theater. One of which currently is like child wrangling because there's kiddos in the show that he's in. But they've also worked as an actor, as a prop master, as working with lighting, all the things that could be within theater. They've done it. And Cassidy was just chatting with them and he said, well, what's the target? What was your target? And this really struck me. Because when he said, well, what's the target? As he's telling the story, I thought to myself, well, what's my target? I am so ambitious and I have so many things that I'd like to do. But what is the end result? Where does the end goal? How do I want to feel at the end of the day? What is the thing? And my target is feeling good in my body, walking in the woods with a dog. Feeling good in my body, walking in the woods with a dog. Let that one sink in. Because I'm ambitious and I have an entire huge long laundry list of things that I would like to do, including, say, traveling the world, working on stages, working as a semi-trans voice channel, working as an author, being a well-known teacher, having an incredibly successful business, really experiencing financial freedom, knowing what that feels like fully, like mastering the 3D in this life. What is the target? Walking in the woods with a dog. Here's even a step further. It's not even a small dog. So this is something that I don't think I've ever said on the podcast before, but I've always kind of joked I like human babies more than I like pets. But as I age and get older, I still like human babies. I love holding a baby and like giving them the bottle, giving them little bits of food, like that kind of thing, feeding them nummies, as we would call it. Do love little human infants. And I smile at all the babies. Ever since my sister got a dog like 6 years ago, 5, 6 years ago, I watched Carmelita, my sister's dog, and it opened my heart to the fact that I could love a pet like that. I just never had one. We didn't have pets like that growing up. And then we had BB, our beloved cat. And while I loved BB, I often felt jealous of BB because BB was my husband's soulmate. Like, they were completely connected. They loved each other. That was his boo. And sometimes I honestly felt like, well, the cat gets more affection than I do. So sometimes I would have sort of like envy about the cat, which is ridiculous. I'm well aware. But I'm being honest. And BB and I were kind of like, I loved them, but they were a sassy lassie, and I was well aware of their sassiness, and often, I don't know, they just weren't my cat, even though I loved and cared for them deeply. So watching my sister's dog, I just have gotten this desire more and more and more to open my heart up to having a pet, to having an animal like that, a dog. But I always thought to myself, we can't have a dog because we need to have $1 million in the bank before we can have a dog. Now, my husband and I do live in probably one of the most expensive places in the country to live. It's like the Bay Area and Manhattan. You know, I mean, we're talking about really, really, really expensive places. And whew, everything costs more, you know? It just is. And but when I really break it apart, when I say we have to have $1 million and then I'll get a tiny dog, was sort of like this idea. And I would think a tiny dog because Carmelita is a tiny dog. And something I really appreciate about Carmelita is we would take walks together, and then I'll just stick her under my arm and I'll take her into the store with me. Like, she is so popular at our local Ace Hardware. She gets all the comments. She comes in. She's always really well dressed. Like, I love seeing a tiny dog in a fantastic little outfit. So it just always skewed towards tiny dog. But when Cassidy said, "What's the target?" and I saw myself walking in the woods, the dog that I was walking with was very capable and able. Like, I didn't need to carry this dog. And it was a large dog that was, you know, up to my hip. And that was the vision. And I thought to myself, how many roadblocks have I put in the way because I do not believe I am worthy of having the final result, the target. I can't have the target yet. I'm not worthy of having that. And there's a lot of things that go along with walking in the woods with a large dog, feeling good in my body. And like, sort of the over-encompassing is a freedom of time. And, you know, I've really, ever since I used to work for my sister when I worked as an event planner, like, because I worked so much, time, having a wealth of time was something that was super duper important to me. And I skewed my entire, like, I've created a life where I do my work all really early in the morning. And it gives me my entire day. I have created what I wanted, which was an incredible, a glut, an amount of freedom of time to get most of my work done before noon. And then it gives me the afternoon to go to the gym, to go swimming, to walk in the woods, to exist, right? Outside, do housework, go to the grocery, all of that kind of fun stuff. But this feeling of I'm not worthy yet to have this end result, the target. What is the target? The target is walking in the woods, feeling good in my body. So here we are, the year of the fire horse. And when the year started, I figured everything would be all about working on my business in a way that was like, now I have a business and it's a successful business and I have lots of students and this is, you know, I'm learning about financial freedom and success in being a small business owner and all of that kind of stuff. Business, business, business. And the hilarious part of all of this is something that I've genuinely realized is I need to go take business classes, because the multisensory aspect of everything I'm doing, like the channeling and the teaching in the morning and teaching meditation and teaching grounding practice, that's in the bag at this point. Now I understand it. I get it. I understand the computer logistics of doing it. I send out the videos. I upload them to Vimeo, blah, blah, blah. I don't know how to do marketing. I don't know how to do advertising. Every time I send an email out, I send very few emails out. So like, how would people even know what I'm teaching or what I'm up to? But I'm like, I don't want to bother people, and my email list is the people that I'm trying to reach out to. I don't have a ton of people I'm sending emails to. So the business side of things, I have no idea. My husband recently helped me do the business taxes for everything, and I kept everything together in a box, pulled it all out, categorized it, did all of the things, but I'm still functioning on lots of slips of paper, which is what my mom had showed me how to do when I was young. So there are so many ways in which the whole business aspect of things is pretty iffy. And I have a lot to learn. So let me humble myself and go to like a business night school. And like the place that I live, I know that there's several, and some that even like cater to women in teaching women how to run small businesses. Okay, so that's like honestly a great next step for me to do that, because yeah, I don't know, business does not come naturally at all to me, and this is something I need to learn. Yeah. I didn't have to get clients. I didn't have to advertise to students. I didn't have to sell myself. And I keep thinking still don't. There's like a level of like, let me help people and let this grow word of mouth. Yes, and I also need to tell the word of mouth people what I'm up to by not being afraid to send them an email. I also need to understand, what does a little advertising look like and how to do it. I took myself off all the meta products and the free advertising, the Facebooks, the TikToks, the Instagrams. What's there is very little on Instagram, and it's just like, how can I do this stuff in a way that feels in alignment, like maybe networking, maybe joining a business thing. I know that there's like female business connection groups and stuff like that. Like, it's time to start networking and doing that within community. And it's interesting because I've gone to some community events in an effort to be open and say words. And I'll talk to people and I ask them what they do and all of that. And no one ever asks me back. So I don't share what I've done yet. I have yet to be asked by other people what I get up to and whatnot, which is interesting. Ooh, yeah. Like, the women in my chalice circle don't even know that I'm a semi-trans voice channel and what I do, actually. So it would behoove me to share that more vocally, but I've always like waiting to be invited to share it because I have. And maybe business classes will help me to be more vocal about what I'm up to. All right, back to worthiness. Sorry, I got a little bit off track. I'm gonna have a little coffee. It's early, babies. So in thinking about worthiness and thinking about the target, we're gonna do this broken out. Name your desire. What is the desire? So I've like written this out. And it's my pros and cons list, talking about walking in the woods with a large dog. And then I want to tell you about this large dog that came into my world and that I met. Okay? So here we go. The last day that I was up in Sacramento watching Carmelita, we were taking our morning walk. I see off in the distance, blocks away, the silhouette of a completely and totally black dog. Perfect silhouette of this black dog, standing there, no person, not on a leash, And it was interesting because I was like, oh, the Grimm. You know, I grew up with Harry Potter in my early 20s, and everybody loves Harry Potter until it turned out like, enough of that. We're not going down that road. But Harry Potter can still be Harry Potter, despite the fact that J.K. Rowling turned into a bizarre person. What a weird hill to die on. So bizarre. But, the Grimm. Oh, okay. So I clocked this dog. Okay, so then I'm taking my walk, and there is a woman in the neighborhood who I know, and she's like, there is a beautiful black lab on the loose. I'm gonna go tell the office, I'm gonna get animal control involved, but keep your eyes open. There's a black lab on the loose. So I was like, oh, okay. So I take my walk with Carmelita, and it is later in the day. I'm working in my sister's garage. And this man is taking a walk, and he said, can you help me? This dog won't stop following me. So I go out, and it is the black lab. It doesn't have a collar. It's following him. So I called the dog towards me. I went and got them a bowl of water, and they sucked that water down. They were very thirsty. So I was like, oh, wow, okay. So I went in and got some food, brought it out, and they wolfed that food down. This dog was hungry. So I was like, okay. The dog goes back to follow the man again, and the man's like, no, the dog keeps following me. I was like, okay, let me put this dog in my sister's backyard to just wait for animal control, because the lady that I'd seen earlier said that she was going to call them, and I was just going to call the office and let them know where the dog was for when the animal control people came. So I took the dog through the garage, put him in the backyard, and I gave them another bowl of water and another can of food, because Carmelita is tiny. She's less than 10 pounds, and her cans of food are like a can of cat food. But this dog looks like it would eat like a soup can amount of food. This is like an 8-ounce dog or more. So I put the dog in the backyard. They are completely black. There's not a lick of another color on them. And they look like a black lab, but maybe a mix of some kind. They look like a mutt when I'm up close to them. But they have a wonderful coat. They're well fed. And I thought, this dog is just lost. But it didn't have a collar. So I thought, oh, maybe it shucked its collar coming in, because the place that my sister lives is like behind the gates. And we go, I call the office, I let him know where the dog is. And I called my dad. Well, when you're in your 80s, he's like 83, and there's not a lot going on. This is an incredibly exciting thing to happen. So he comes over. He's hanging out with the dog too. Let me backtrack a little bit. So the dog was in the backyard. I was working in the garage, and the dog now is freaking out. The dog was freaking out, hitting the gate, rattling the gate, just really unnerved, unsettled, and wanted to leave the backyard. So I changed my tact. I was like, I guess we're doing this today. Whatever I was up to, like, we're not doing that anymore. Now we're doing this. I go and sit by the back door, and I didn't want to like actually be with the dog, because they were like really restless and like, I don't know, this dog from Adam, right? So I brought a chair out. I sit at the door. I can see through. It's like a gate. And the dog's on the other side, and they're pacing. And I chose to do this. I just felt guided to do it. But I made a tunnel between my heart and the dog's heart. And I connected my heart to the dog. And I connected my heart to the dog, and I said, I love you. Everything's going to be okay. We're going to spend some time together, and someone's going to come get you. Just take a seat, baby. It's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. You're safe. Drink some water. We're going to get you home. Everything's okay. Everything's okay. Just sort of soothing this dog. And the dog looks at me and then laid down and just laid down by the back door. They just sort of took a seat. So I brought my computer out, and now I've changed track for the day. We're not messing around in the garage. Now we're just going to sit with this dog. So the dog's laying by the back door. I started editing a podcast and just sat there so that I was next to them, but there was a door in between us. So now call my dad. Do you want to come over and meet this dog? I mean, this is exciting, right? Meanwhile, the office says, yes, they've called animal control. So my dad comes over, and because he's there, now I feel more confidence to go spend time with the dog in the backyard with the dog, because I didn't want to be alone with them because, I didn't want the dog to bite me or whatever. I don't know this dog. So the two of us are in the backyard with the dog, and now the dog is playing, and they're like running back and forth and jumping up and putting their paws on my chest. And when they jump up, like, they're to my breasts, like their paws are up that high. They're very tall. And I'm patting them, and like the longer we spent time together in the backyard, the more I just was looking at them and looking at their eyes and feeling how they felt. And I was just like, I really like this dog. And I couldn't tell if they were like, their paw size to me was that they were done growing, but I think they're pretty young when I'm looking at them here. I don't think they're a puppy, but they're definitely a juvenile. And my dad and I are looking at the dog, talking about it. What could have happened? Somebody loves you because your coat's so nice. He's obviously well fed. And I'm patting the dog and standing over him, holding him between my legs, ruffling his fur. So we're definitely getting close. And then someone comes to the back gate. Well, it's the woman from the walk who had notified me that she'd seen the dog. She says no one from animal control can come that day, but she'd be willing to drive me and the dog to the shelter to take the dog in. Oh, okay. So my dad and I make a makeshift leash for the dog, and my dad like put the rope and did the little knot and all of that and made this makeshift leash. And oh my goodness, my 83-year-old father, like, I saw this dog pull that leash and I was just like, oh my God, if this dog breaks my dad's hip, we're done for. But thankfully my dad was able to steady himself and he did not go over, but this dog is very strong. So we take the dog to the shelter. It's like 30 minutes away. And the whole time I was sitting in the back seat with the dog, and their head is resting on me and I'm resting my head on their back. And I'm just holding them and resting my head on their back and just patting them and telling them everything's going to be all right. We're going to get them home. And we take them to the shelter. They get inputted, and they do have a microchip. So the shelter calls the chip's human. And the chip's human says, oh, we gave that dog away. So they said that they would call the person who they gave the dog away to. They said they gave it to a family friend. So now my brain is like, ooh, because this is a gated community, somebody might have let the dog go, just abandoned them behind the gates because they knew they'd be safe behind the gates, and they just let it be someone else's problem. It's not the first time that that's happened in this community in Sacramento. And in fact, the woman who drove me to the shelter had been part of another dog being out and about and lost and trying to get that dog to a shelter behind the gates. So, okay. Now my heart is like, oh my gosh, breaking a little bit. So we do the surrender paperwork, letting them go to the shelter. And now the dog did not want to leave me because they did not. They've put another collar on the dog and they're trying to pull him away, and he's like down on his haunches and he will not move. Oh, also from the microchip, we found out that their name is Reese. So Reese is they're trying to pull Reese away, and Reese did not want to go, and they came back and they put their paw on my foot. And now my heart is sort of like being stretched like taffy. So Reese got taken away, and I'm breathing into this, and never, not once in a million years did it even cross my mind that I would take this dog home or that I'd want this dog, because a million reasons that I can list. But it's just not in my lifestyle. This isn't part of the plan. This is not me being A successful business owner is not having a 62-pound dog. It just simply is not. And, but because I now think the dog might have been abandoned, I did not cut the cord or disconnect my heart from the dog. And this is the first time in my entire life that I've ever connected my heart to an animal. So the entire time we're driving back, and now I just start talking to the dog. So now I am telepathically telling the dog they're going to be okay, it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay. When a dog has a microchip, they are on a mandatory hold at the shelter for 10 days, and they're put on the lost pets page, and they're seeking their person. So Reese is in there for 10 days, and I've found him on the website, and I check in on him every day. Now I'm looking at the website every day. I found myself going to sleep at night and talking to him. I'd return to everybody. I have like this energetic hygiene routine I go through when I go to bed. So I do my energetic hygiene routine, and then I lay there and talk to Reese. It's going to be okay, sweetheart. Everything's going to be okay. Settle down. Get a good night's sleep. So I'm talking to this dog telepathically in my head. And ultimately, I start to get these sensations of anxiety and sort of longing. The dog was calling back to me. So now there's like this sort of like back and forth. And I am far away now. I am home again, back in the Bay Area, and this dog is up in a shelter in Sac. So they're not close. I can't just go visit them. So like, I did this to myself. I connected my heart to the dog, and I did not disconnect it. So now I'm laying in bed and talking to this dog, and like it's progressing and progressing and progressing over these 10 days to the point now where I'm talking to my husband and I'm like, hey, can we talk about having a medium to large size dog come live with us? What would that look like? Blah, 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 blah. And making pros and cons lists and all of this. So now it has been, he goes from being on the lost pets page to being adoptable because no one did come and get him. So now Reese is up for adoption. And it's been 16 or 17 days. So now I'm beginning to notice just over the course of this period of time, I walk in the woods, not every day, but a lot during the week. And I teach in the morning, go to the gym, go to my chalice circle, do all of these things. And I'm imagining what would it be like to have Reese in my life this entire time. And really leaning into understanding, well, am I worthy of having this big dog? How much would this change my life? And I've made this list, and my list is naming your desire, right? So my desire is walking in the woods, feeling good in my body with a dog. And then really leaning into and understanding that I had a limiting belief that it is a tiny dog, because then it would make my life easier because I can pick up the dog and I can take them into stores. That is really, like, they can be part of my shopping, which I do a lot of running around and gathering things for the home from many different places. So having a large dog is going to be like, it is now the consideration of everything. I am easily the most selfish person that I know. I put myself first and make myself comfortable and do the things. I am very giving and generous and want to be of service in the world, but that service comes from the overflow. Like, I take care of myself first. I am absolutely self-preservation too. Like, I make sure my needs are met, and then, like, I will feed myself first, and then the overflow is I will feed everyone I can. But it's like, I take care of my energy. I could not be who I am or function in the world if I did not. So I'm imagining myself now what is it like to have this bigger dog? I am no longer the center of Frida First. Like, this would be now Reese, checking in with Reese, and Reese would become that he is the top consideration. It is Reese, and then we go from there. They are the number one top thing. Like, what now? What? It is no small feat or thought to do this. Like, it's intense. But so I'm imagining, though, every time I'm walking in the woods, I'm imagining him right next to me, walking next to me in like some form of harness where I can like hold him. So, because he is high enough that that wouldn't be too terribly far away, like one of those airport security things, so that the dog, you're holding it with your hand just right around the hip area, a little bit lower. Going to obedience school and working together to make sure that they are extremely well trained, because they are also of a size that they would terrify the people around, right? They need to be well behaved so that they are not only just thinking of their own body and how, but they need to think of their body and how it shows up in the world. They need to be aware of their space around them. Like, the dog needs to become incredibly well trained. And there's a lot of effort that goes into that. Am I willing to put that effort in? Is my husband willing to put that effort in? My husband grew up with dogs, and he is an excellent trainer. He trained BB, the cat, to do high five, through the hoop, speak, up and down. So sit, stand, yeah, the cat had a whole routine, high five and through the hoop, and like it would entertain guests. Like, this was the thing. If they never saw the cat do the tricks before, it was amazing. So he is extremely capable. So naming my desire, walking in the woods, feeling good in my body, and walking with, we're just going to throw it in there, Reese, walking with Reese. So I've made a pros and cons list about having this dog. Why I think it would be good, why I think it would be really hard. The pros list is laughter, getting out on a walk every day. So he would make it so, and this is a large dog. This is a 2-mile plus walking dog, possibly twice a day. We're talking about a dog that needs to be walked 2 to 4 miles a day at least. To be played with a ball, like get a ball out. This dog is a thing. They are a force of nature that needs to be exercised, and they're young. All right, so pros: laughter, get out on a walk daily, unconditional dog love. Dogs are love. They are made of love. They are here to love. They are here to love us. Like, dogs are made of love. Walking with a dog, it just is lovely. I love walking with Carmelita. Walking with a dog. Giving my heart to a dog. So sharing that kind of heart connection, that telepathic heart-led connection, well, that's special. That's something I've never had before, and that could be a really special, nice experience. Assorted bandanas. I love to costuming and dressing up and all of that kind of stuff, and it would be fun to choose different bandanas for Reese to wear. Reese is not a costume person. They would not be wearing dresses or anything like that. They're a large dog, but they could wear a bandana to express some different holiday season things or express some different moods. Get him a little rainbow bandana. On the pros list is that they seem fairly young. The shelter thought they were about 2 years old. They also have great teeth. They have really, really good dental hygiene, it appears. Nice, beautiful white teeth, not a lot of plaque on them or anything like that. Before being abandoned, he was cared for. It is easy to see. They seem very healthy. You would, again, need to look into all of this, but they appear to be a very healthy dog. I have a heart connection to the animal. They make me happy. They uplift my mood. When I'm thinking about Reese, it's easy to go, what, me worry? Like that Alfred E. Newman from Mad Magazine. It's like, what, me worry? What else is there? It's just me and this dog, right? What war? What fall of the patriarchy? I'm just going to the woods with my dog. Like, they are a very like present moment thing. Like, no, we're just gonna give love to the dog. That's what is there in this moment. Oh, it's just Reese and I. And then on this is interesting because I have it on the pros list, but it's also sort of on the cons, pros and cons. But I love a tidy home. I really love to be tidy, and I'm almost a teeny bit neurotic about it, as in like wiping the floorboards. And I am tidy. We have these blonde floors throughout this whole house, and if we get this dog, there will be black dog hair, and there will be black dog hair on the baseboards, and there will be black dog hair on the floor, and there will be little footprints on the floor, and so like relaxing into life maybe a little bit more, relaxing into humanity, and like this being in a house that we like live in, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. So it's on the pros and cons list because, yeah, my leanings are towards tidiness, cleanliness, order, and now we're moving to the cons list. Chaos. Reese will bring chaos to our lives. I know they will. It would be chaotic to have a roommate or child that is coming up to your, like almost up to your hip, zooming around this place. It would be chaotic. But the chaotic is also laughter and funny and happy. Like, there is nothing else except this moment, and this dog is zooming around the house. Cons. The clock now revolves around the dog. So I love my freedom of time and everything I've built in. But now we have a walking schedule, a feeding schedule, a bathroom schedule. The clock would they become number one. Now everything revolves around the dog. Dog training. It's on the cons list because I've never done it before, and I'm sure that it would work out, but it's just a thing, right? It's a thing we have to do. I've never had a dog before. That's on the cons list. I mean, my husband is well versed in dogs. He's never had a dog as big as Reese. Here's the big one. Expense. The number one top thing is I always thought you had to be a millionaire to have a dog because I think dogs are expensive. Well, something that I've been doing since meeting Reese is looking around, and all the people that are out walking dogs, they're not millionaires. They're just people. So they figure it out. They make it work. Well, on the cons list here is the unknown. The unknown is so big and so vast, I cannot even imagine it. I couldn't list it out because I don't know it. I'm sure it's very similar with having children. You can like read every book and learn as much as you want, talk to your friends, but the unknown of actually being in the situation with the thing, who knows? I mean, we went to foster those kittens. I fostered them from 7 days. They're bottle babies, 3 of them. I'm feeding them in the mornings. It made me so frazzled because the mornings is when I do my work. I couldn't handle it. We had to pass those kittens on. I couldn't do it. So like, there's a fear of like, oh my God, what if I can't hack it? I can't hack it as a mom or a dog mom. It's a really big fear. Dog hair, dog smell, dog food, picking up poop. You know, I pick up Carmelita's poop when we're out on our walks, and it really actually doesn't bother me. So picking up poop isn't crazy. I don't know. The floors, having these blonde floors, and then knowing that I'm going to see black dog hair all over it. Dog breath, ? I didn't really notice that the dog had bad breath. They seemed like they had fine breath when I was hanging out with them before, but I don't know, it's something everybody talks about. Where do they go when I go grocery shopping? Where do they go when I need to run into a store? How does all of that work? Where do they go when I have meetings? These are all considerations that I don't have an answer to because yeah, I don't know. Everything seems like it would revolve around this dog's calendar. On the cons list, I have always putting them first. I mean, for heaven's sake, though, there's a part of me that's just like, would it be terrible to be less obsessed with myself and become more open hearted to another? My whole thing is like, I want to know myself so incredibly well. It's like, yeah, well, I do. Maybe now we get a dog. Here's the last one that I have on my list, but what if I can't hack it? What if they've already been abandoned now twice? What if I can't hack it? What if it's too hard? You know, it I don't want to abandon an animal. I don't want to abandon them, return them to the shelter. I don't know, man. So I've been acting as if Reese is coming. And my husband and I, and a really good friend of ours, are heading up to Sacramento this weekend, and we are going to go see Reese in the shelter and spend the day with them and see, if it might be a good fit, if it's something that we're feeling confident about. I don't even know if you can feel confident about something this huge. But we are not going into this blind. Like, it's like the amount of happiness. I know we would laugh. I know we would have such a good time. I know it would be so fun. But I'm not blind or not thinking through the fact that, like, there's chaos here. This will bring a level of chaos to our existence. But maybe that it would be fun. Maybe that would be okay. Maybe that would be great. Maybe it would be help me to get out of my perfectionism because I can't have a perfect house anymore. I can't have clean floorboards with this dog. So I've just been imagining my life with this dog. And when I wake up in the morning, I say good morning to them. I imagine them coming out with me while I get coffee. And I imagine them having two beds. So there's one in the bedroom where they've slept, and now they come in here because I do all my work in the morning. I can't take them out first thing. So they're going to have to come in here and wait to go out and maybe hopefully sleep more while I do my energy healing work in the mornings and do my meditation practice and all of that. These are huge considerations, man. So we're having some house construction done. We're building a really neat thing within our home. Really, really exciting, fun house construction project here. Getting a podcast booth, so it's going to like be silent. I can shut the door on it, a different place to record the podcast and to teach from. That is located in a way where it's going to have better feng shui and all that kind of good stuff. And building this loft guest bed, because there's a guest bed in my husband's office right now for when folks come and travel and sleep over. And it would be cool if he could have an office that did not have a bed in it. So we have these really high ceilings. So we're having a loft bed built for guests. And a built-in podcast booth and stairs and storage. And it's a really fun project. It's something that my husband and I put so much effort into construction, and they're always that behind the scenes, taking care of business, taking care of structural integrity type stuff. And this is the first project that we've done that is like a cosmetic, make our lives better, fun thing. And it is really exciting. Well, my preference would be that the dog didn't come until after the construction was over, and the construction keeps getting pushed back and back and back. There's so many considerations, like we're going up to visit him Sunday. He's not coming home with us. Knock on wood. Oh, you guys. Worthiness. There's so many ways in which I say I am unworthy of this. I have to perform XYZ before I can get the prize. And the prize is feeling good in my body with this freedom of time walking in the woods with a dog. So I want to ask you, what has this conversation, story, what has this brought up for you? Where are there places in your life where you feel unworthy? Going back to Cassidy's original question, what is your target? The target isn't as crazy as we might think it is, right? Like, I want to be a New York Times best-selling author. Okay, why? Because then I'll be worthy of finding a partnership, or like that kind of thing. Like, then someone will see me and then I'll have a date. Like, like, what are the things that you place in front of you as human obstacles? Because my target isn't really that hard to reach, honestly. Like, my target is not walking in the woods with a dog, feeling good in my body. I mean, the feeling good in my body part is probably the most challenging aspect of that entire big picture for me. It's not that crazy. It is achievable. It is achievable relatively quickly if I chose it. But I've put in all these things in my way to say I'm not worthy of having that. I can't have the big dream. You have to wait until you're retired to have that big dream. You have to wait until you have $1 million in the bank to have that big dream. Why? Maybe the $1 million come if you step into the version of yourself that has freedom of time walking in the woods with a dog. So just putting it out there as food for thought for you. Where, how do you feel unworthy? And some people don't. This is not everybody's frequency. Not everyone has this unworthiness thing, but I certainly do. It's one I was born with. It's sort of something I came in with. It's how I was raised. I need to prove myself worthy of having something. I need to prove myself to have value in order to get something. Not great, but it keeps a human striving. It keeps us striving. It keeps us waiting for achievement, desiring it. I am worthy of financial freedom when I have of service in some form of way. Well, I'm worthy of financial freedom right now simply for my existence on Earth. I am worthy of all of the love in the universe right now simply for being alive. We all are. But I know it's something that I'm still working on feeling. This is my work, because this is a pretty big one. And while I have gotten to the point where my worth and value is not based on my productivity, like I know that, there's other aspects of worthiness that are still coming into play. I do have a fear, though, like of stepping into being a dog mom, a large dog mom, stepping into this place with Reese and not being up for the challenge. We are childless by choice for many reasons, but one of them is just like because I want to work on my own stuff, because I want to only be beholden to me. And this is just flipping all of that upside down and on its head. So it is not, I'm not taking this lightly. I'm thinking it through. Trust me. And we'll see. The next time we check in, I will have more information. Oh, something I didn't tell you is that I sat on the computer and did a whole bunch of online shopping for a lot of the things that Reese would need. including ordering him a collar that says Reese with my husband's phone number on it. I didn't put my phone number on it because I don't answer my phone. It could say, like, text me. But yeah, it takes a lot for me to pick that up. It's like, it's my parents and my sister or my husband's family. And then I'll pick the phone up. All right, my loves. This has been a chat. I'm going to go heat up my coffee to finish that off because I know it's gotten cold. I wanted to tell you that if you are ready to get grounded, I'm teaching grounding meditation for the entire month of April. We are going to be getting grounded down into the earth every morning from 6 to 6:30 a.m. We're calling it April Awakenings. Grounding has become non-negotiable. There is so much chaos outside of our doors that it is your job every morning to get your ass up and get grounded. It will make your life easier. When I teach my program, Return to Self-Love, which you are also invited to, you can find out more about that at fridahealing.com. When I teach in Return to Self-Love, I am teaching you how to have a spiritual practice for yourself. And the first year I taught that program, I did it every day. I meditated with folks every morning, Monday through Friday, for 30 minutes. And when I really came back to it, I wanted folks to have accountability. I just wanted to teach one morning a week. And they need to do that video and show up for themselves throughout the week and have that accountability because I did not want to create dependency. Well, when I'm sitting in meditation and I'm feeling it, it feels like this is actually what the collective needs right now. The collective needs a little bit of aided assistance in sitting down and learning what is it like to meditate every day. So I will offer it. I will show up. I will serve. How can I be of service? Let me be of service in the world. This is how I'm being called to be of service for the month of April. So if that sounds good to you, email me. Frida Maletsky, healingarts@gmail.com. Email me. It's $333 to hop on in. If you are hearing this after the program is already started, it's about $15 a day to be joining us. However many days in we are, we'll knock that off the cost and come on in. I'm just doing Venmo or PayPal for this one, and it is not up on my website. I've offered it to my email list. It is just a way to show up in the world. I wake up every day and get grounded anyway, so this is just inviting you along to my process. Friends, I wanted to tell you that I love you, God, Universe, Source loves you, and you are worthy already right now of all the good that the earth has to bring to you, all the good in the world. And just like you, I am learning how to bring that into my life and accept it as well. And also, I'm just going to say, if you have a large dog, put in the comments, tell me what that's like. What is it like to live with a large dog? What are the pros? What are the best things about it? What are the hard things about it? Let me know. Because, I'm curious. Truly. All right, friends. I love you. Have a wonderful day.